You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the 7 and a Hook Podcast, the world's premier sports betting podcast. Your source for the best information and insight when it comes to sports wagering. We cover it all because you bet on it all. So let's head up to the studio and get this show rolling.
Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the 7 and a Hook Podcast, the world's premier sports betting podcast. I am Brooksy, the Irish Insider, along with my co-pilot, partner in crime, Easy Money, Eric LaFleche. Eric, first off, thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day. My man here is a U.S. Air Force veteran. Thumbs up to all our veterans today. Not just today, every day. You know?
Absolutely. Yep. They are the reason that we're allowed to do this or even express any of your freedoms whatsoever. So regardless of what side of the fence you're on, if you're able to express it, you should thank a veteran.
All day, every day. So, yeah. Anyways, again, appreciate your service. All right, let's get right to tonight. Big show tonight. We're going to cover some NFL. All right, we're going to cover some college football. We're going to go back to boxing. My main man here is going to cover a couple big title fights coming up in the next couple weeks. All right, 2 big title fights, and then we're going to end with a little soccer. But we're going to go back to boxing real quick because last week he was all over the Canelo Plant fight. Eric, I think you almost hit the exact time he was going to knock or TKO Plant. So I mean, tell us a little bit about the fight. I know you watched it. So
I predicted 9th round TKO. It was an 11th round TKO. Plant came to fight. I can tell you that. Plant, who was his opponent level, was suspect. Canelo does nothing but fights champions, and he's a 4-division weight champion. He was looking to unify the 168 title, which has never been done on a super middleweight level. Plant held the IBF, and of course Canelo was the other 4: WBA, WBO, WBC, and Ring Magazine. And it was a great fight. Plant really came to fight, and it seemed like his MO for the fight was a couple jabs and then run like crazy. And the problem is Canelo eventually caught on.
He can't run forever, right?
Canelo's great at minimizing the ring. If you're a runner, there are certain ways your opponent can cut your ring off, and it just became the body shots, Canelo's body attack, which has been his forte in the last dozen fights. He's really concentrating on the body. It was just phenomenal. And Plant went down for the first time and the second time in his career. And obviously, being an undefeated fighter was the first time he was stopped. So Canelo is the first, regardless of nationality, the first super middleweight unified champion of the world. So congratulations to him. And now, of course, about an hour.
Who's next?
For Canelo, there's talk of the Charlo brother, or Charlo, who's the middleweight champion. I think he'll actually absolutely destroy Charlo. Right now, there's talks of him moving up to light heavyweight and cruiser.
Really?
He beat Kovalev as a cruiserweight.
Wow.
And light heavyweight, I should say. And Canelo, I'll never doubt him until I see him.
Yeah. Get beat up.
I mean, I think, like I said last week, I think that Gennady Golovkin, he won that first fight against Canelo, although the judges saw it as a draw. But anyway, I think Canelo's the biggest draw in boxing, and he proved why last Saturday night. So but not taking nothing away from Plant. Plant came very game to fight, but Canelo's just too much. The guy's hitting with every single punch had bad intentions on it.
He didn't have enough room to hold on his belts. Like at the end of the fight, like they were putting it on his head.
One of the belts.
It was crazy.
In the interest of full disclosure, one of the belts was a newly made up decorative belt for the WBC.
Was that Ric Flair's belt?
It might have been.
It could have been, right?
Macho Man's, but it was. So one of those belts wasn't really a belt; it was a novelty belt. Okay. But regardless of that, he has 4 real ones. So
there was a lot of hardware hanging.
He's phenomenal. He's the biggest draw in boxing for a reason. It used to be Floyd Mayweather when Mayweather was fighting, and actually Mayweather is the only person ever to beat Canelo, and he beat him on the scorecards when Canelo was very young. But regardless, he beat him. But it was a great fight. It was definitely worth the money. Some lower card fights with Darrell. Darrell's another 168 pounder. He won, and he was kind of saying he belongs on that level, which I just think is funny. But
listen, he wants the payday, right?
He does. But it was a good fight. Definitely worth the money.
All right. So again, stay tuned. We're gonna have a couple more boxing matches to talk about. And again, this man is undefeated right now in boxing during our show, so that's a good thing. All right, let's get right to the NFL, Eric.
Yeah,
all right, we each got 3 spotlight games. I'll kick it off. I've got the New Orleans Saints on the road to take on the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Titans are favored by 3 at home. Points total set at 44 and a hook. Saints 5-3. They're 3-1 on the road this year. They're coming off a 27-25 loss to the Falcons. Now, Trevor Siemian was their quarterback, since Winston is on the injured reserve. Siemian wasn't the reason they lost the game, Eric. He actually played pretty well. 250 yards in the air and a touchdown, no interceptions. It was their defense. They couldn't get a stop near the end of the game, and that let the Falcons kind of creep on back and come home with the win. Now, that broke the Saints' 3-game win streak. They've been playing some pretty good football. Now, the Titans, they come into this game winners of their last 5. Impressive, very impressive, 28-16 win on the road, beating the Rams on their home turf. And that win wasn't so much about the Titans' offense. It was about their defense. Their defense stymied, confused, whatever word you want to use. Matthew Stafford didn't know which way was up. Ended up throwing 2 picks, very unlike Matt Stafford. Tannehill, only 143 yards in the air, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Like I said, it wasn't their offense that got the job done. It was their defense. Remember, this is without Derrick Henry. He's out for the season.
He is.
And they did sign Adrian Peterson, and guess what? He scored a touchdown. So that's already reaping some benefits.
Absolutely.
He got in the end zone.
He always stays in shape, which is a big plus if you're a professional athlete.
He does, and he only carried the ball 10 times. But guess what? Short yardage and near the end zone. Yeah. That's where they're going to use him, and it worked. Okay.
He's 36 years old, which is ancient for a running back.
Yeah, that's almost as old as me.
Yes.
Okay. Sort of. 63. I'm closer to 63 than I am 36. But anyways, all right. So I think the Saints are a better team than people are giving them credit for. And also the Titans are really, really banged up. I think it's a big ask for them to fly out on the West Coast, come back, a lot of injuries, depleted secondary. I actually like the Saints in this game. I'm going to take the points, and as far as the points total, I'm going under. So Saints getting 3, under 44 and a hook.
Oh boy. I have to disagree. As far as I would take the Titans in the over, but so mark that down.
I just did.
You're gonna okay.
I'm gonna take Plant against Canelo.
Next time. I hear Canelo's not really what he seems to be. Right. Well, I'm gonna break down the Chiefs on the road. Is that right?
That's pretty good. Yeah.
At the Las Vegas Raiders. That's an 8:20 p.m. Sunday night game. Be really careful, guys, when you're betting against the spread with the Chiefs. They're 10-18 since 2020, including 2-7 this year against the spread.
Ouch.
So,
yeah.
And you really got to ask yourself, what has happened to the Chiefs? They're ranked 26 in total defense, and really, they have the big task of containing Renfrew, Derek Carr, and Darren Waller, the tight end that's really becoming a superstar. And then you can sprinkle in a little bit of running back Josh Jacobs, who's coming back from injury, and you're setting yourself up. If you're the Chiefs, at evening your record at 5-5, which I don't think we'd be talking about that usually, but the Mahomes to Tyreek Hill is just not there this year. Luckily for Patrick Mahomes, he's entering this week with 3 sub QBR 80 games.
Really?
First time in his career he's been below 80 in 3 straight games. he's still Mahomes. I mean, yeah, Mahomes is having a bad year, and we got to use air quotes. He still has 2,600 yards, 20 TDs, 10 picks. But he has 100 more TDs than picks in his career. And this is the second time in his career he's ever been double-digit picks. And we still have 7 games to go.
That's crazy when you think about it.
So it really tells you how important your receivers are.
Yeah.
Just the Mahomes, Tyreek Hill click is really not clicking at this point. But I think they're going to get their stuff figured out. But I just think Vegas is coming off a forgivable week as they beat the lowly Giants, which really surprised me. I'm a Giants fan, as everybody knows, but Vegas is a much better team than the Giants. And yeah, KC won, but they won against a Aaron Rodgers-less Green Bay Packers.
True, that's true. Can't discount that.
Mahomes is still elite. The defense, to me, I really see a huge day. Even though Derek Carr was really subpar last week against the Giants, he still has 13 touchdowns this year, 7 picks. He has a 95 QBR.
Yeah.
So he's really taking care of the ball. He's not, the Giants just played out of their minds last week to even beat the Raiders. I see Raiders at home. Chiefs traveling to what they call the Death Star. They're calling their
pretty awesome stadium, by the way.
Chiefs come in at 2.5 point favorite. Over under 51 and a hook. I'm picking the Raiders, but I'm taking the under. I see another offensive struggle.
Mm-hmm.
There's no running back. What the heck's his name? Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
He's out. And I'm just not seeing the Chiefs really put much anything together. And I see the Raiders defense. The Raiders defense, they are 11th in the league overall total defense. And I see that Raiders and the under. So just be careful, again, betting the Chiefs against the spread.
Yeah, and
unreliable.
Raiders are tough at home. That place. Now, I was in Vegas, as you know, people that tune in about a month ago, and I did get to tour the stadium. Let me tell you something. It is. If Darth Vader was ever going to come back and live, he would live there. And this place is phenomenal, really is. I mean, hey, for $3 billion, it better be.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
but
$2 billion, $3 billion, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. But it is awesome. So if you do ever travel to Vegas, go to the stadium.
I hear that, and I hear LA SoFi Stadium is incredible.
Haven't been there yet, but yeah, I'm sure it is. So, all right. Anyways, next up for me, the Buffalo Bills on the road. 12 and a half point favorite at the New York Jets. Points total set at 47 and a hook. Bills come into this game 5-3. They're coming off a very, 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 I don't know how many verys I can give, very disappointing loss at Jacksonville.
That was unbelievable.
I still can't believe it. Okay, 9-6. They didn't score a touchdown. Well, neither team scored a touchdown, but the Bills, they should score a touchdown. They didn't. Okay.
One of the most potent offenses in the NFL.
Yeah, not so much last week, right? So now Josh Allen wasn't great, but wasn't terrible, wasn't wonderful either. 31 of 47, 264 yards, 2 interceptions, and the goose egg, 0 for touchdowns. That is what killed them. You can have some turnovers, but you got to get it in the end zone. They did not do that. Now the Jets, they lost to the Colts 45-30. It looks like Mike White is going to get the start again this week.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson, they're going to give him another week to heal up, right? I mean, that's kind of the plan. Smart move.
Sure.
I mean, he's their franchise quarterback, so don't rush him back. This season,
he's this year's franchise quarterback.
He's this year's, right. Last year was Sam Darnold. We'll see what happens the rest of the season. Now, last week, the Bills literally sleptwalked through last week's game. Sleptwalk, okay? And my moles are telling me that head coach Sean McDermott, well, let's say he's kicking some tail feathers this week up in Buffalo. It hasn't been an easy week of practice. So if they weren't paying attention last week, they paid attention this week. I think the Bills will be up for this divisional clash. I think they're going to let the rest of the country know why they are still considered one of the favorites to go to the Super Bowl. They're going to take it out on the Jets. I like the Bills in this game, and I like the over. So Bills minus 12 and a hook, points total over 47 and a hook.
I can't disagree with you there. I think they could be favored by 20, and I'd still take them.
Yeah, they're going to get it done this week.
It's going to be a bloodbath, big time. All right, so let's cover the Cleveland Browns. What do they call Cleveland? A mistake by the lake?
Yes.
Okay. They're traveling to Foxborough Stadium. Actually, Foxborough, Mass. Gillette Stadium.
That's right.
Foxborough Stadium was a blast in the past. To visit the New England Patriots. Both teams come in with a 5-4 record. Pats are, at this point, a point and a half favorite. They were 2.5 as late as yesterday evening. The over-under is 45 and a hook. And one thing you got to know about this game is Bill Belichick, head coach for both of these teams at one point in his career.
That's right. Yeah.
And when Belichick plays the Cleveland Browns, he's 7-2.
Yeah.
So it's hard to bet against Belichick at home against any team, but it seems like he even picks up his coaching prowess when he's coaching a team that he wants to, maybe put that little extra dig into.
A little thumping.
Not that he was really a Browns coach too awful long, a few seasons, but they're going to have to contend, and Mac Jones is going to have to contend with a very stout Cleveland defense.
Yeah.
They're 9th against the pass, and they're 3rd against the run.
Yeah.
There's obviously the 400-pound elephant in the room besides me is Odell Beckham.
Oh, they're talking about me.
Being gone
Yes.
from the Browns.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, in my eyes, in your eyes, and our insider eyes that cover the AFC, he was a major distraction.
Yeah, to say the least.
So, them coming off a huge win last week.
Without him, by the way.
Right? 31-16 over who's turned out to be probably one of the favorites, along with the Bills and the Chiefs, to be an AFC representative to go deep in the playoffs, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
Is the distraction gone?
Oh, I think it is.
And I'm going to say this. Of course, Odell Beckham Jr., who we're talking about, he was a former Giants receiver, went to Cleveland. Now, once he clears waivers, obviously he's going to end up somewhere.
He is.
But at what point does the league and the teams and the other players around him kind of figure out maybe he's a distraction?
Yeah. Say no, right?
All the talent in the world, huge hands. I mean, demonstrated by so many highlight film catches, one hands. The guy's got incredible talent, but he's a distraction.
He's a head case.
He's what they call in the sports world a cancer in the clubhouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically. So they got rid of him. Somebody's going to pick him up. My guess is going to be Minnesota. That's not who I'm hearing are some of the favorites. New England, I heard.
Well, you said New England the other day. So and there's where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Minnesota. Look what Belichick does. You think about the problem children he's brought in.
Yeah.
Corey Dillon years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get along with anybody at Cincinnati. Comes in and has Pro Bowl years.
He was,
Wins the Super Bowl. Josh Gordon. There was Randy Moss.
Randy Moss was considered a problem child.
Randy Moss,
right?
Minnesota was clapping to get him out of there, and he comes and look what he does for doing
record touchdown.
So Belichick, Belichick has a way with
and his moles are pretty good. So if he says the Patriots are in the game, they're
deemed a problem. Belichick has a pretty good control.
Yeah.
So the key to winning for New England, obviously, is Mac Jones. Can he hit Aguilar? That's his new favorite receiver.
Yeah.
Aguilar can outrun the Cleveland secondary. So we're going to see what kind of arm Mac Jones has, because I don't think New England's going to have much of a running game because of Cleveland. We got Myles Garrett. You have so many, they collapse that pocket, and maybe you can do some pulls to the left and the right off guard, but you're not going to run up the middle. You're not going to do what Derrick Henry does usually and run up the middle for 15, 20 yards.
Every time.
They're just too tough. Yeah. I see, as you're a New England fan, I'm a New England fan, anybody who likes winners is a New England fan, right?
That's right. You have to be.
Even post Brady, and now this is our second year without Brady. Right? Second?
Yeah.
Second. There's still a home field advantage in New England.
No doubt.
It's going to be chilly. It's going to, not that Cleveland's not used to chilly weather, but I see the Patriots taking this one, and I see the over.
I think some points coming.
I think it's going to be some points.
Okay.
I think it's going to be not close, I'll say.
Okay.
I think that Cleveland's going to have a little bit of lapse on defense, especially during the pass, and I think Mac Jones might finally get off and have one of those games where people start to realize why they drafted him.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I'm not saying he's the next Brady anybody, but I'm just saying I think he's going to have a 300-plus yard game, 3 touchdowns, possibly a turnover, whether a fumble or a pick. But I think that definitely bet the over and New England.
You just made. We got a lot of people that watch from New England. You just made a lot of people happy right now with that play. So
they're going to be 6-4, and who really?
We didn't predict. Neither of us thought that, right? Neither of us.
No.
So now, all right. Next up on my spotlight board, the Minnesota Vikings on the road to take on the LA Chargers. Now the Chargers are favored by 3 at home. Points total set at 53. Vikings come into this game 3-5. They're 1-3 on the road. Been disappointing so far this season. They let one get away last week at Baltimore. Man, they were leading for a lot of this game. Baltimore came back and tied it up near the end, and they ended up going to overtime. And Baltimore kicked a field goal to, escape with a victory at home. Now, the week before, the Vikings let one get away too, and that was against an undermanned Dallas team that had no Dak Prescott. And the Vikings just didn't show up. So they lost 2 games that they probably could have won. So I don't know, is the air in the balloon out? I'm going to let you know here. Now the Chargers, they come into this game 5-3. They're 2-2 at home. They broke a 2-game losing streak going on the road last week to beat the Eagles 27-24. Again, field goal at the end of regulation. Now, flying out east is never easy for a West Coast team, and it was an early start, okay? And they were Philly's a hostile environment. I don't care what anybody says, and they were 0-3 at home to start. They were rabid fans there to try, to hope to get their first win of the season. Didn't happen, okay? Now, years ago, the Chargers fly out there and they lose that game. I don't know, Eric. This might be a turning point for the Chargers. Maybe some maturation for Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
They're learning how to win games that they normally lost. Okay. Now, the Vikings, in my opinion, they're going to continue this nosedive. Okay. Those last 2 losses hurt. I don't think they're going to get up off the canvas. I think the Chargers get it done at home. I like the Chargers laying the 3. And as far as the points, we're looking up. I'm going over 53. Chargers -3. And over 53 points, Eric.
All right, let's talk about the Cowboys, who are at home.
Oh,
I'm supposed to be on the road.
That's all right. You got
the Falcons coming to town to visit AT&T Stadium in the Dallas Cowboys. Falcons are 4-4 entering the contest. Dallas is 6-2 and a 9-point favorite. Dallas is at home. Over/under is 53 flat. Now, if you're Dallas, you're Mike McCarthy, you're in that locker room after the Broncos game last week where you got blown out, and you proclaimed to your team, or actually during the press conference, he proclaimed to the press, we were out-coached and we were outplayed.
Yeah.
We didn't show up. We showed up very lazy. Hopefully that lights a fire under the players' rear ends, because that was... After what you said earlier, they went to Minnesota without Dak.
Yeah.
Put a whooping on Minnesota, which is never easy. I don't care how good or bad Minnesota is. It's never easy to win in Minnesota.
It's not.
And they lose to a Broncos team that they really had no
reason to win that game.
No reason to lose that game versus the Broncos. No. But they did.
They did.
And what was majorly exposed during that game was the blindside protection for Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
Dak Prescott is having a heck of a year, okay? But it has to be the utmost concern for McCarthy. They made some moves. They brought some guys up from the practice squad, some linemen. They're going to make some moves around, but Prescott had 2 sacks, 6 hurries from his blind side alone.
Yeah.
So if you don't protect Dak, yes, he's excellent. Ezekiel Elliott appears to have lost a step in the last year. I don't know what's going on with him, but Prescott is really playing out of his mind, but you can only do so much if you don't have any blindside protection. What are you going to do?
They got to keep him healthy. Just look at last year, okay?
Now Dallas's defense again. Now they're going to play Atlanta. Atlanta is a running back by committee team. Mm-hmm. Okay, they don't. The years of Devonta Freeman are over. They have a couple. They have a quarterback by committee, which you know how I feel about that. They allowed 200 rushing yards last week to Denver. Okay.
That's a lot.
And they also missed 12 tackles during that game. They're one of the bottom. They're ranked 28th in the league at missing tackles with an average of 10 a game.
Wow.
And they even extended that further by missing 12. So you're not going to win if you allow 200 yards, if you allow your quarterback to get trashed from the blind side, and you miss 12 tackles. No wonder they lost, amongst other things. Again, let's move to the Dallas defense real quick. Bright star for them this year is Trevon Diggs. He's got 6 interceptions in his second year. He's going to be assigned to probably try to stop Patterson. It would be Calvin Ridley, but Calvin Ridley is having some mental health issues, and he's put on the non-football injury list.
Yeah.
And so we hope that Calvin Ridley gets straightened out, because he is a
superstar.
Julio Jones was for Atlanta for many, many, many years.
That's right.
And he would be Matt Ryan's target, obviously.
His whoopee. He'd be his whoopee.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Sure. Cowboys ranked 13th in total defense, and they don't have a major running threat to stop. Like I said, it's Mike Davis and Patterson splitting duties. They're having an okay year. They got 692 yards rushing as a team. Not a lot, to be honest, especially as a team. That's everybody.
Yeah.
So with the Cowboys ranked 6th against the run. I don't think they're going to stop a run. So I think they can relax. And I think Trevon Diggs is going to get another pick. And I really think the Cowboys are going to come back strong. McCarthy, they had a really focused, pinpointed week of practice, and they're going to cover. They're going to cover this game, and you're going to take the over, because Cowboys are going to come out firing. The Falcons are ranked 26th in total D, and which is going to hurt, because Dallas's receivers. You have CeeDee Lamb. You have who's the other guy? I'm trying to think here.
Where are we?
Amari Cooper. You have those two, and if you have a Prescott who gets a little bit of protection, all he needs is a half second more, and you're going to see another 400-yard game. You're going to see. I'm not going to go out and say it's going to be a total blowout, but I see it being a 38 to 22, 24 type of deal. So go with Cowboys and bet the over on that.
All right. So those are our spotlight plays in the NFL.
Yeah, I can also see. Take the prop bet of Ezekiel Elliott getting 100 yards.
Ooh, I like that. Oh, a little prop bet today. I like that.
Yeah, that's I think it's 160.
All right, we'll take him over 100. Nice.
He's visited the end zone. He's went over 100 yards twice this year. This is going to be the third.
All right. Yeah, and for those that are listening, we get our lines from two places: DraftKings and FanDuel.
Yeah.
Was that a good product placement?
Yes.
Dropping it, because we are looking for sponsorship.
Next time, have a can of soda with a made-up label that has FanDuel on one side, and you can be like, "We love FanDuel."
Yes, well, we do.
Yes.
Listen.
Yes.
So FanDuel, DraftKings, hook us up.
Absolutely.
Anyways, we're coming. We're coming. All right. We're going to move now to college football. I'm going to break down a couple games that I really like on the board, and then I'm going to hand it off to Mr. Boxing, and he's going to break down a couple upcoming bouts. All right. So Western Kentucky, minus 18 on the road to take on Rice. All right, Western Kentucky, they're 5-4. They're 4-1 in Conference USA. Their nickname is the Hilltoppers, man. I love it. Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Maybe the second favorite name in sports. It's up there. All right, they have literally one of the most exciting and explosive offensive in the country, and they have one of the most exciting, explosive quarterback that no one's ever heard of, okay? Bailey Zappi, all right? Eric, he's thrown for 3,600 yards, 37 touchdowns, only 6 picks.
Wow.
The kid is a stud. He is going to be playing on Sundays at some point, okay? Now, Western Kentucky, they're averaging over 41 points a game. They're only letting up 29. They're on a 4-game win streak. Last week, they had a decisive 48-21 win over Middle Tennessee State. Rice, on the other hand, complete opposite story. They're losers of 2 straight. They had a tough loss last week against Charlotte in overtime, 31-24. The Rice offense, abysmal. They're ranked 241st in the nation, only scoring 19 points a game. Their defense is a sieve. They're letting up almost 37 points a game. That equation tells me what? Hilltoppers to cover the 18, and we're looking up. There's going to be a lot of points in this game, so over the 62 and a hook. All right, my second spotlight game on the board in college football. Purdue on the road to take on Ohio State. Now, Ohio State is favored by 20 at home. Points total set at 62. Purdue comes into this game 6-3. They're 4-2 in the Big Ten. Now, they're ranked 19th this week, and that's because of a big upset win last week over previously undefeated Michigan State. 41-29 over the Spartans. The game wasn't even that close. Purdue owned that Saturday. That was their game. Some garbage points from Michigan State. That was really a 3 or 4 touchdown win by Purdue. They were super impressive. Now, that's a 2-game win streak for the Boilermakers. They're averaging 24 points a game. They're letting up 18. The Boilermakers are the definition of throw first, run second. 332 yards in the air on average. They only got 77 yards on the ground on average. They don't run much, Eric. It's kind of easy to game plan against them. Okay. Ohio State, they come into this game ranked 4th in the nation. They're 8-1, and they're 6-0 in the Big Ten. Now, they played a scrappy and much improved Nebraska team. He bleeds red. He's a Nebraska guy.
Cornhuskers, baby.
You know what? They're becoming a tough team to play and a tough team to travel to. That was at Nebraska. It's been a while since travel in Nebraska was a tough game. Well, it was. Ohio State had to really, really work for a 26-17 win on the road, but they got it done. Okay? They're averaging 44 points a game. They're letting up only 19. Now, they're a throw first, run second team, but it's a little more balanced. 350 yards in the air per game, 190 on the ground. That's a juggernaut. Yeah. I mean, they are definitely a tough team to play against. Now, I think Purdue has a letdown coming. That was a national televised game. They knocked off an undefeated team. I don't see them traveling now to Ohio State and keeping that intensity up. So I'm going to take the Buckeyes minus 20, and as far as the points total set at 62, I'm going over. These teams are going to throw the ball like crazy. I like Ohio State and over 62. I'm going to hand it off now to Mr. Boxing.
Let's talk a little sweet science, shall we? 2 big fights coming up. One on November 20th. Of course, that's Terrence Bud Crawford. He battles Showtime Sean Porter. That's for Crawford's WBO welterweight title. Now, Crawford is an anomaly, kind of 37-0, 28 KOs. Welterweight, of course, is 147 pounds. 147 to 154. I think 154 is super welterweight. I have to visit. There's only 77 weight divisions. It seems like.
I think it might be 100, but
welterweight, yeah. I believe, is 147. Don't quote me on that, guys, but it's in that ballpark. This is intriguing. Now, Crawford has been on many analysts' lips as being the pound-for-pound king. Regardless of your weight division, you have one person that's a pound-for-pound. There's rankings. It's not official. It's everybody's opinion, of course.
Right.
But I mean, Canelo has overtaken that sense. But before the Canelo fight, and it's mainly, I think, because Canelo has a loss. But Crawford's 37-0, but a lot of people are really talking about and whispering about his opponent's strength. He's fought a lot of tomato cans, as they call it. And versus Showtime Sean Porter, who used to be a multi-division champion. He was WBC, and I think he was the WBO and WBC champion at one time. Welterweight. Porter's fought everybody you can imagine. He comes in with a 31-3 record, 17 KO. Now, obviously, Crawford's got a much higher KO percentage, over 70%, versus Porter at a little over 30. Both of these fighters possess lightning quick speed. They always come in to the fight in shape. There's never a problem making weight. There's never a, wow, I wonder if he had a good camp. No, these guys are professionals. This will be by far Bud's hardest opponent. That being said, I still think that Crawford is going to win this fight, and Crawford has actually gone on record and saying, I'm going to show the world why people are avoiding me. Now, that can be taken a couple different ways, because if you talk to most of the people, nobody's avoiding Crawford.
Yeah.
Crawford's promotion team isn't making the fights. So who's avoiding who type of deal, I guess. Sean Porter, he's fought Errol Spence, which is one of the best fighters in the world. He's got a really good pedigree and a really good resume of fighters. And Crawford simply, he's a champion. And he obviously beat a champion to be a champion.
Right.
I'm very interested in this fight. It's at the Mandalay Bay, November 20th. It kind of snuck up on me because I was doing the Canelo prep, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. This isn't the only big fight in November.
Yeah.
And when I've been a boxing fan for over 40 years, and I was never, as most people weren't, I was never a lower division fan. I was always a heavyweight fan.
Yeah.
You know, back in the days when Larry Holmes was fighting a really aging Muhammad Ali and really beat him to a pulp, and then you have, of course, the Tyson era and all that stuff. But the lower weight divisions have really classed it up. The pedigrees. You have amateur boxers with 200 victories. Vasily Lomachenko, he's a former 135-pound champion and 130-pound champion as well. He had 350 amateur victories.
350?
2 defeats.
Wow. What's he fight every day?
And he lost his opening professional
No
fight.
way.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's beat a lot of people ever since, except
Woo.
for Teofimo Lopez.
Crazy.
But so Bud Crawford, he's gonna be in tip-top shape. Showtime Sean Porter, who's actually fits his nickname. He's actually a Showtime boxing analyst, which I think helps.
Yeah.
He's an active fighter, but he's not as active as some of these fighters.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
does he put a good show against Crawford? I think he does. He'll match him speed, and he'll match him for tenacity, but he's not going to match him for power.
Yeah.
But like I said, this is going to be by far the best fighter that Bud Crawford has ever fought. And Porter's got a great ring IQ. He's got great footwork. He's got lots of speed. He'll come in with a good game plan. I do think that Crawford is going to win by a decision.
Okay.
Porter has never been knocked out. He's never been stopped. He's got 3 defeats, but they were all on points.
So this is going the distance.
I think this is going to go the distance.
Okay.
Because I need to see Bud really use his power against an elite fighter. And I haven't seen him have to do that. And Porter's going to bring the fight. So I do see Crawford maintaining his championship. It's going to be a decision. It's going to go on points.
All right, so take Crawford and play the decision prop. It's going to go to decision. Okay.
Now, we have a fight coming up December 5th on Showtime pay-per-view. Actually, the Bud Crawford is on ESPN pay-per-view, by the way. But just you can visit your pay-per-view provider and buy it. But December 5th was originally a fight with WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Tank Davis. He was challenged, and he took the challenge from a guy named Rolando Romero. Now, you can go on, after you watch our show, you can go on YouTube and you can type in Tank Davis versus Romero, and you would never in your life for a first and second press conference see as much smack talking as Romero did. Romero's 14-0.
You said that, yeah.
And there were so many expletives used by Romero that I'm going to knock you the blank out many times to a guy, Tank Davis, who is 25-0 with 24 KOs.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
And Tank Davis is quickly becoming one of my favorite fighters because he's all business. He is all business. He's 5'5". He's short. He's lightning quick. So 2 weeks ago, a few females came forward and said, we have some issues with Romero.
Yeah.
And those are still pending allegations.
But taken very seriously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Showtime says, well, he's gone.
Yeah.
We're removing him from the fight. And they bring in the IBF number 2 lightweight in Isaac Pitbull Cruz. And people are like, who's this? But I promise you, if you're a boxing fan, you buy this pay-per-view, you're going to recognize Isaac Cruz.
Yeah.
He's 22, 1-1 with 15 KOs, but in Mexican fighting pedigree, and they always brutal. I mean, I'm trying to find the right adjective to describe his style. Is
well, it's like
tenacious.
a pit bull. That's what you said last night. He was like a pit bull, you know.
And he's going to be a huge underdog. Okay. In fact, looking at it right now, Davis is minus 715. I don't know why they say Santa Cruz. His name is Isaac Cruz, unless it's Santa Cruz.
Getting ready for Christmas, maybe?
Yeah. Last night I thought you were talking about Leo Santa Cruz, but anyway, Isaac Cruz, he's a plus 500.
Yeah, that's a big underdog. Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what, this is going to be one of Davis's toughest fights ever.
Think so? Yeah. Okay.
Isaac Cruz, if he can last the first 3 rounds, where he can actually get some body work done to Davis.
Yeah.
People usually don't last with Davis.
True.
And it's weird because Davis is 5'5", and he's going to be fighting a shorter fighter, which I don't know if he ever has, because Cruz is 5'4". Romero was 5'7", I think, and so Davis is always used, just like Mike Tyson back in the day, always used to punching up.
Yep.
You know, but I find this matchup very intriguing. It's for the WBA lightweight championship. Cruz has won 11 straight fights. He lost one early on in his career. He's 22, 1-1, as I said. It's going to be a war. And I do like Davis. I like Davis, and this is going to go against a lot of analysts, but I see this fight moving very quickly. Both these guys are lightning quick. We're going to find out Davis's defense because I think Cruz, in typical Mexican fighter fashion, is going to come in with his head down and guns a-blazing. I think that Davis is going to win, but I think it's going to be a decision, which a lot of people are going to be surprised about. I think it's going to be a split decision even.
Okay.
Not a majority. I don't think he's going to knock Cruz out, but I think it's much better opponent than a lot of people are saying.
So basically, everyone's going to get their money's worth because you think both of those fights are going to go the distance.
Yeah, I think the best chance for a knockout would be the Davis Cruz fight. And again, you know, the way boxing, you know, anything can happen. Obviously, we saw Plant get some good punches on Canelo.
Yeah.
Again, Canelo being a Mexican fighter, he didn't even look phased in any of them. But you could tell they hurt. I mean, he admitted he popped him a few times. But Tank Davis, I implore everybody to buy this pay-per-view on Showtime. He's worth the money. He's a lightweight boxer. He's a 130-pound champion. He went up to 140-pound. I mean, the guy does everything.
Yeah.
He's a 4-division weight champion already in his career. He's 26 years old. So he goes up to 140 pounds, beats a first, gave Mario Barrios his first defeat, I should say, to gain the 140-pound title. He won the 130-pound title, 135-pound title. So there's lots of, this division is so interesting. Teofimo Lopez, who beat Lomachenko, he is the coup de grace of this division. But Gervonta Davis says, I'm gonna, let Teofimo next. So it's gonna be a big unification fight down the line, but some really good, intriguing matchups before that. So
that's why,
if you're a boxing fan, you can't help but love the lower weight divisions. And so much talent, and the heavyweight division is damn good too.
Oh yeah,
with
Fury's no slouch.
Fury, right? you got. I don't know what's up next for Wilder, but
some time off probably.
I hope you're gonna have some Anthony Joshua news coming up. He's gonna he's gonna do the rematch with Usyk. So there's all kinds of stuff happening in the boxing world, but these two fights are intriguing. I'm looking forward to both of them, actually. So,
all right. So again,
both by Crawford and Davis will win by decision.
All
Davis is going to be a split decision.
Nice.
Which means that a judge will have Isaac Cruz winning more rounds.
Very good. All right. We're going to change gears now. I'm going to break down a few soccer matches, and they're all going to be in men's World Cup qualifying. So I'm going to start with CONCACAF. Okay. We got Costa Rica on the road. Plus 500 underdog traveling to take on the Canadian men's team. Now, Canada's minus 190 favorite at home. Draw is set at plus 300. Goal total set at 2 and a hook. All right, Costa Rica. They're 5th in the table. After 6 matches, 1-3-2. They've got 6 points. They've only scored 4 goals in 6 matches, let up 5. Now, they're coming off a 2-1 loss to the U.S. men's national team a couple weeks ago. Canada, they're currently 3rd in the table after 6 matches, 2 wins, 4 draws, no defeats. They've got 10 points. Now, they've scored 10 goals in their 6 matches. They've let up 4. They're coming off a 4-1 victory over Panama a few weeks ago. Now, mind you, they were losing in that match 1-0. So, you know, people that watch soccer, you know, coming back from being down isn't the easiest thing to do. Well, they dug deep, and they needed that win to keep pace with Mexico and U.S., and they came home with a 4-1 victory. Now, these two teams last met this past summer in the Gold Cup. Canada traveled down to Costa Rica and won that match 2-0. I just think Canada has way too many weapons. Costa Rica is not a good team on the road. I think Canada gets it done at home, so I like Canada, and I think we're going to have over 2.5 goals. So lots of goals scored, and put your money on the Canadian team. All right, next FIFA World Cup match. Now we're going to go to Europe. Again, men's qualifying. Switzerland on the road, plus 425 dog, taking on host Italy, who's a minus 165 favorite. Now the draw is set at 300, plus 300. Again, goal total set at 2 and a hook. The Swiss, they currently sit 2nd in their group, Group C. After 6 matches, 4 wins, 2 draws, 14 points. They've scored 10. They've only let up 1. Their defense is phenomenal. Okay. Now Italy, they're 1st in Group C. Same wins, 4 wins, 2 draws, no losses, but it's the goal differential. They've scored 12 goals. They've only let up 1. So again, both defenses are pretty stingy. Now the Swiss are coming off a 4-0 win over Lithuania. Italy, a 2-1 victory over Belgium. Now, these two sides last met about a month and a half ago, and it was a 0-0 draw. Okay, what's going to happen here? I think the fans at home are going to push Italy over the top here, so I'm going to take Italy, but as far as the goal total, I'm going under the 2 and a hook. I think these two defenses are going to be parking the bus, so take Italy, but under 2 and a hook. And my last soccer play of the day is, again, World Cup qualifying. Albania, Albania on the road. Albany,
New York is traveling to Albania.
What am I doing here? It's been a long day, folks. Anyways, Albania on the road, a plus 2,000 dog, travels to take on England, who's a minus 800 favorite at home. That's a big favorite at home. Draw is set at 550. Now this is European. This is Group I. Okay, I almost said Albania. The team. You can see this is unscripted. Okay, we're gonna call it timeout.
20-second timeout.
Okay. Albania. Okay, wow, that's bad. 3rd in the group. Okay, after 8 matches, 5 wins, no draws, 3 defeats, 15 points. They've scored 11 goals. They've let up 4. Now they're coming off a 1-0 loss at Poland. Okay, now England is 1st in the group after 8 matches, 6 wins, 2 draws, 20 points. They've scored 24 goals in 8 matches. Yeah, they're dinging the bell. They've only let up 3. They're coming off a 1-1 draw to Hungary. Okay, the last time these two teams met, it was a 2-0 victory for England. By the way, England has never, ever, ever lost to Albania. It's going to continue. England is going to win this match. As far as the goal total, we're going over the 2 and a hook. So take England over 2 and a hook and a couple prop bets, okay? Now, England at minus 130 to win both halves. That's a yes. I'm going to lay the 130. They're going to score more goals than Albany does in both halves, okay? Now, one prop bet I do like for Albania is over half a goal. Okay, that means they're either going to score a goal or they're not going to. They're going to score a goal in this match because England's going to be wide open. This could be a 5-1, 6-1 match. So look for Albania to score a goal. And that's a plus 205 that they'll score a goal. So there's definitely some bet there. You get sometimes you take the team that isn't that good, and those prop bets are pretty awesome. So, anyways, that's going to put a wrap on my soccer plays. Eric, you got anything else you want to add before we head to the exits?
That's a hell of a road trip for Albany.
That's bad.
It's
man.
like 7,000 miles.
I think. Do they have a team bus? Like how would they get there?
I think they take one of those buses that actually converts to a boat as it gets to the water.
Oh, no, those are cool.
Yeah,
those are cool.
They have to.
They have to. Yeah.
It's weird because, wow. I mean, Albany. They must have to. The players have to take like a couple weeks off from work and.
Yeah, they probably. Yeah. Listen, folks. As you can see, this is unscripted because why would I say Albany when it's Albania? Because
nobody knows.
Nobody knows. My brain is just.
Nobody knows why he would say that.
That's true.
He says it.
But anyways, Albany would definitely be on the road if they were going to England.
I am done.
You are done. Absolutely. Yes. All right. So, folks, we're going to head to the exits. All right. Again, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Listen, it's another week. Hopefully, we gave you some good insight and some good information. Why? So you can go cash some tickets. So, hey, on behalf of everyone here at the 7 and a Hook podcast, we hope you have a great day. And as we always say, may your bad beats be small and your big wins be monster.
Thanks again for tuning in to the 7 and a Hook podcast. Until next time, may your bad beats be small and your big wins be monster.